Hey, Simone here with some ideas and insights what to pay attention to when you are scaling your business. So, I just met with our next level mastermind group, and these are great leaders who are all making really good shifts and embarking on transformation in the companies that they lead. What's always amazing to me is how leaders from completely different industries, but in the same phase of business, have almost identical challenges. The truth is, your problems are not unique. On a product level, they may be, but on a growth and on a team level, all we're really addressing is human potential and the psychology around it, which is pretty much the same for everybody. The challenging thing to recognize is and to admit to is that your company is always limited by your own beliefs. Whether you think you can or you can't, you're always right. The hardest phase of company growth for leaders is when it gets to be time to hire people who you know who are better at what they do than you are. So because if that's the case, your question may be, how am I going to lead them? That's really how it starts with you. But then there's an even bigger problem. When you have appointed the wrong leaders to lead your other leaders and operators because it is their job to translate your vision, keep reinforcing it, and being the cheerleader and their accountability coach to really to get for them to get to their now for them to get to their level and so on, which kind of creates that domino effect. The problem is your second in command was probably a great fit at some point, but as the business grows, it needs different focus. At first, everybody is doing everything, including you. Then you focus on becoming a good leader to the ones that you have. Then it starts occurring that if if you want any freedom in your life, you really need to create more structure in your organization so that there's a buffer between and you and your team. So you hire, managers. And here's the crux. Unless those managers are leaders, which means they consider it to be their main responsibility to grow other leaders and really support your growth, which is also managing up and down. Now you have an individual who is influencing the rest of your organization, but in essence, they are a bottleneck rather than the one who unblocks and opens up the flow. Biggest problem. And unless you have absolute A players, the fear that they have that's getting in their way is the same that's getting in your way when you're considering hiring up. If I help my direct reports grow and hire others who are better than I in their own areas of business, what will I do? How will I lead them? A lot of times, the surface reason that my clients give me when I ask them what's preventing them from hiring up, the answer tends to be, well, I can't afford to pay those higher salaries. And of course, my answer to that is you can't afford not to pay the higher salary. Because, in all honesty, what's holding you back is not the bill, it's the fear of what if it doesn't work. The rule of thumb is when you're in a growth phase, your profitability is going to suffer for the benefit of your long-term results. Otherwise, it'll be like you're hitting the gas and the brake at the same time, and that makes for a really jerky ride that gets you nowhere fast. And guess what? If you don't do it, there won't be any long-term benefits. No smart business owners would hire for a position that wouldn't ROI multiple times. But how will you make sure that it will? Well, you have to start thinking much bigger and bring the clarity to the rest of your team. You'll have to make sure that your vision is big enough and clear enough so that those expensive hires that you made have a solid foundation to place their own strategy on, which is going to level up and propel your growth. This takes a lot of courage because you have to throw your survival thinking out the window and go all in. You got to dance like nobody's watching here. Make the bold decisions your team has been waiting for and stop the waffle because everybody knows it when you're in it. So if you're operating your company from a place of fear, and that fear is that you might fail, then you focus on failure. And even the ones who don't believe in the law of attraction can reckon that if you're focused on losing, you'll make losing decisions. So if just imagine if you were bold and daring and you dreamt up a vision that's truly inspiring to you and everybody else you touch, what kind of people would you hire and what kind of results would they deliver? So if this is something that you're still struggling with and you need just a little bit help to get you started in the heading in the right direction, we have a brand new training out that addresses all this in detail. I'll explain each of the 4 steps that make up our multi-million-dollar system in vivid detail so you can be equipped with the knowledge that you need to get you started. Click on the link below and discover how to create a leadership system that will help you scale and sustain your business. I hope this helps, and I will see you on the inside.